Welcome to the Shelter.
Welcome.
Where are we now?
We are at Shelter Barbershop event space. Happy place, good vibes, all day, every day. Located at the beautiful street of Lavender Street,
Lavender
through
Street.
Fork Road. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Kid, and I'm Joshua.
Hi.
And welcome to the Game On Podcast, Kid.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
So Kid, introducing Kid, he has over 6 years of experience in barbering, and a bit about him is that he's actually known in the community of the growing barbering space in Singapore, and he like to be described as someone that keeps traditional barbering very closely to his heart, but also has a modern twist to it, right? And Kid, he would say that he's actually living out his purpose as a barber, and he actually sees between 150 to 180 clients a month. But these clients are not just numbers or number of hits. It's actually personal friendships and relationships that he has with every individual.
Like you?
Yeah, like me. Yeah. So looking forward, Kid. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Okay, so what are you gonna do with my hair today?
What are we planning to do for you?
Yeah.
Okay, the first rule of thumb, guys. When your clients, your friends, your patrons sit on the chair, consultation is very important.
Consultation, okay. Like what I do with my clients, so consultation.
Yeah, man. So,
Alright.
so what are you planning to do? Like, are you trying to keep it short, or you like the length to be kept?
Actually, like maybe more of like a gentleman's hairstyle.
Okay.
I usually style it
Towards your right,
side, yeah.
You're just following through your natural parting, I guess.
Yeah. Then I noticed that this one usually puffs up quite a bit as it
okay.
outgrows, then becomes a bit like heavy. Yeah.
Oh, noted. So how short do you want to go on the sides usually?
How short?
Like, do you want to see your skin, or you do not want to see your skin?
Maybe not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
So tentatively, usually for that, with the work that you're doing, we just do a number 3 on the side. Maybe I taper 1.5 to keep it clean. Nothing too in your face. But length-wise, do you plan to keep the length, or you like the length?
I think length-wise at the top seems okay.
Seems okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we take the weight off, easier
Sure.
for you to style.
Yeah.
Nothing too high, I guess. For your face, because you have longer face, maybe you do like mid fade. Mid number 3. Nothing too fancy lah. Keep it neat, keep it clean, keep it tight lah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's do.
Second rule of thumb: there's no such thing as just gentleman's haircut. Yeah, man. Thank you for sitting on my chair and for doing this.
All in the name of fun.
All in the name of fun.
Yeah.
Guys, we're doing a podcast in a shop, dude.
Yeah. So this podcast, I think I told you over the phone is my first ever environment.
Yeah.
In the environment, right?
How is
Usually
it for
it's more
you?
conducive. Huh?
How is it for you?
Quite excited that the vibes are quite strong. That's why I think when I first noticed your shop, I walked in and said, hey, cool vibes.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. It takes a lot of heads to come up with this kind of vibe, this kind of setting.
Oh, is it?
Like the person behind me that's cutting now,
Yeah,
he's
Nick.
one of my partners.
Okay.
One of the barbers in.
Yeah.
There's 3 of us. It's me, it's Nick, it's Alfie. All of us has a different role, I guess, in the shop. Like whatever you see on social media, marketing wise, brand designs of Shelter, it's all been done by this bugger back behind me, Nick. His name is Nick. Alfie is doing like that kind of hands-on where a light needs to be fixed, a wiring needs to be fixed. He's doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I manage the shop itself, of how the shop flow is, how the business is run in terms of that. So we work in a triangle base where one falls, the whole entire system falls, which as of now, Shelter is about 8 months in. Yeah, so it's working well so far, thankfully. Hopefully it can grow more to just a barber shop. That's our goal.
Okay.
If you are in our shop itself, it's small dash cozy lah. So there's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
But we try to portray as much as who we are as a person. Barbering first. Second is all of us are covered with tattoos for one, because we like that lifestyle. We grew up in that lifestyle where music is like solely intertwined with tattooing. Music is totally intertwined with arts. Music is totally intertwined with the things we wear,
Yeah.
the subculture that we are in, you know. So the whole shop itself, we are trying to represent that in a very small space. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that we are running a business. So if you are totally pushing things that you really like, you tend to cut down on the target audience that you are trying to reach.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to be attracted to whatever you like, music, you know, arts, whatever it is. So we try to make as conducive as an environment where, you know, you come in, you see the artwork like, hey, but you don't feel intimidated by it, like, oh, I do not fit into this shop, I do not fit into this shop, you get what I mean? So we try to stay away from there lah. But we see how it goes over the years. Hopefully we can expand, find a bigger space, you know, do more things like we want. Like what we can do now is, for example, this art piece is from an artist called Kilas. He's selling his merchandise here. So we're just giving them a platform rather than their own platform. You know, they have our platform, our clientele sees it and hey, it's nice, I want to buy it, $100, take with the frame, you know, that kind of thing. Helping friends and community first lah, because without them there wouldn't be us, without us there wouldn't be them also. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the gist of Shelter. That's how the name Shelter came out.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're trying to build a community within the shelter, and what better way for you to put it in front of people's face rather than telling it twice, right? So rather than we just put our name as Shelter, we do it twice, Shelter.
So you don't miss it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully lah, right? Hopefully that's the whole point.
Okay. So how would you introduce yourself in a way that not many people know about?
Oh shit. Oh shit. We should keep as PG-13, huh?
It's okay.
I don't know. It's like people always say I have that resting bitch face where like I'm very unapproachable when you know I'm just walking or I don't know you, I just keep to myself. But when I'm doing my things, you know, doing my work, within 2 minutes you see the type of person I am. You get what I mean? Like, I guess I have grown in the age or that phase of life where, you know, there's a saying where you give respect, you get respect. Like for me, it's totally opposite. It doesn't matter who I give you that respect first. Across the board, everybody gets the same.
Yeah.
But the respect will decrease as much as you want it to decrease. You get what I mean? So it doesn't matter be it you're 5 years old or you're 50. The amount of respect I give is the same. You know. Other than that, I try to be as bubbly as I can on a daily basis lah. Because life is short enough already. Why do you need to make your life worse, right? But there are definitely bad days which I wouldn't say I have to put a mask on, but at the end of the day, you know, when my client, my patron, my friends comes in, I wouldn't say the expectation is for me to be consistent all the way, but you have to give them that respect that they took their time to come to you lah. So whatever problems you have, keep it to yourself, man. You know, at the end of the day, it's your own burden. People shouldn't know in the first place, right?
Okay. There's also a place for vulnerability, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, okay, a bit contradicting, but you know, there are clients who, you know, they sit in my chair and they share stories or worries they have that they do not even share with, you know, let's say their spouses or their close friends, because I can't really pinpoint to why they are willing to do that with me. You know, definitely trust is one thing lah. Second thing is maybe they have the expectation whatever is spoke in the barbershop stays in the barbershop. It doesn't move around as much. You know, at the end of the day, it's none of my business. I don't have to go around and tell people like what's going on with your life. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I can help or what I can input is to give my 2 cents worth of life of ideas. Like maybe it will help you. Even if it doesn't, at least it takes a burden off your shoulder, you know, for that half an hour, knowing that you have shared it with someone.
Right.
Yeah. But like I say, in terms at the end of the day, I'm giving a service where every month you come in or every 2 weeks that you come in, I'm trying to give as consistent as I can. So on my part, whatever that I can do in terms of not making it about me, but it's more about you, I try to do as much as I can. You get what I mean?
Well, so you realize that it's not just a haircut, it's a place where you can have a listening ear.
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe even like a confidant, tell you the deeper secrets.
I'm like a cheap therapist.
Or like a priest or something, a priest.
But again, it really boils down in terms of who that barber is as a person, or a matter of fact, in terms of the service line in general, it's really who or what type that person is, you get what I mean? If that person is really not into serving the client that way, then you wouldn't get that kind of outcome in the first place, you get what I mean? Yeah. So I think naturally I'm just like that, be it a good thing or a bad thing, it is what it is. I am who I am.
Yeah. So is this something that is new, or is this something that is in the barbering community that?
I would say in general, in terms of my craft, generally, barbers are quite open, quite bubbly, quite happy, likes to talk, likes to share. In terms of barbers are always different in some way, shape or form.
Okay.
Be it the traditional uncle barber where they cut for $10, that kind of thing. At the end of the day, most of them, if you remember when you were in your younger days or childhood days, they are always a bit more eccentric. You get what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is lah. I don't know why that type of person are always around this industry in the first place lah. Yeah. Eccentric, I think that's the word.
I think I remember in my childhood there's one underneath my place, and then I always remember that twirly thing that you have that shows that it is a barber, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and when you go in, it's a very musky smell.
Yeah.
Then there's this guy, long rockstar hair.
It is what it is. You get what I mean? Like they always have that eccentric outlook,
and stickers everywhere.
Normal. But again, like okay, let's say for the barber pole itself, traditionally the barber pole is really a symbol of, like you say when you see a barber pole, you know that it's a barber shop. It's a very traditional symbol. Like for me, as simple, this is just personally for me, it got nothing to do with the industry. If the shop is open, the barber pole needs to be on. It needs to be moving. The light needs to be there. It needs to be swirling. If the barber shop is closed and we are not cutting, off it.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Like I'm quite anal about it with the boys and because for me, what other way represents a barber? You get what I mean? The in terms of majority or the public wise. They know for a fact that if you see a barber pole, it's a traditional barber.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Actually, what's the significance of this barber pole thing? Like, where did it come from? Is it a local thing or?
No, it's actually quite a worldwide thing. Like the three colors justify different things. Because back then, barbers were not just hairstylists. They do minor operation like dental work.
Serious?
Bloodletting, that kind of thing. So the colors. Like back then, what I had in mind was because in terms of the craft, it grows in the States, that kind of thing. So the red, white and blue, I thought it was just about the American culture. But actually, the red stands for artery, the blue stands for veins, white stands for bandages. Yeah. So back then, barbers do a lot more dirtier work than just hair cutting.
I see.
Yeah, they do like minor surgery, minor op, minor dental work. Yeah, so that's the gist history of the barber pole. Something all of us get to learn today.
I see. Yeah, this is neat news to me. And was this something that you always wanted to be?
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. As Josh knows, I used to have a different career, which is a very opposite career of this. I used to be a registered nurse since 2009. So it's 10 odd years over my belt as a nurse. But here I am cutting hair.
So you live the bubbles pool, right?
Sorry?
You lived the life before as
Yeah.
you can actually apply, do some minor surgeries, and you're qualified to do that.
One way, shape, or form, yes. One way, shape, or form, yes. But that's the thing, lah. Like, I don't know. I like when I told the closest people to me saying that I want to leave an industry where I went for education for it. I studied for it, blah blah blah, and whatnot, years in years out. And for me to do barbering, a lot of people were like, what's going on? Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm in my mid-30s. I have responsibilities around my belt, and here I am trying to throw away that good financial income, or that growth in terms of career ladder. I'm leaving all that for something that I like. It doesn't make sense, man.
Sure.
But it is what it is. Oh.
Tell us a little bit more about why you made that decision.
Why?
Yeah, from a place of stability to a place of
Uh,
you don't know what's there in front of you.
I think okay. For one, it's not that I'm passionless about nursing anymore. At the end of the day, passion-wise in nursing also is quite limited lah. Whoever really tells you like, oh, I want to become a nurse because I wanted to become a nurse since I was 10. I'm very passionate. Bullshit lah, you get what I mean? Like that's bullshit lah. But in terms of me personally, the passion of seeing people get better in your care, that was what kept me going. You get what I mean? But as the years goes by, I don't see myself doing that kind of thing anymore, because I do not find the purpose anymore. In terms of when you work in a big organization, a big company where it runs like clockwork, that rat race kind of thing. It doesn't matter what you do, 10, 15 odd years. At the end of the day, you're just a number to the organization. It really, really doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what kind of designation you have. It doesn't matter your rank. The day that you leave, you give them 3 days and 5 more buggers are in line waiting to take you over. So, satisfaction in that sense, where the deeds that you have been doing all the years, it really went off for me. Like totally went off for me.
Sure.
So when I started barbering, I started cutting. Even before my clients or the people sitting on my chair at staircases, I started there.
Yeah.
Before they started paying me, every single haircut I felt satisfied or I felt disappointed with myself. Every single haircut. That's where I realized, like, hey, if you're talking in terms of personal sense of achievement, I'm getting a lot more achievement in just cutting hair. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single cut. So it slowly grew and grew to the point where, okay, I wouldn't lie in a sense, to the point when I started to know, like, doing barbering part-time, finding extra cash money here and there, blah blah blah. Then I realized that, hey, if you work hard enough, or you are consistent enough, or you persevere long enough, technically you can do it. You get what I mean? Technically you can earn a decent living. And like,
those humble days of you said you cut hair by the staircase.
yeah, staircase.
How did you
vlog.
come to where you are today? What's that journey?
Okay, the journey started was when I was moonlighting back then, because I went for further studies. So Monday to Friday, Friday 8 to 5 kind of thing. So I work after 5-6 p.m. Saturday, Sundays I work also. So I was a cook. I started off as a dishwasher, then I became a kitchen helper, then became a cook. So beside the shop that I was cooking, that bistro shop that I was cooking, it was one of the pioneer shop in terms of barbering in Singapore, modern barbering. They are called Hounds of Baskerville. So I have friends there, so day in, day out, because I was there technically every day for a good 3 years.
Sure.
Yeah, I was working there for a good 3 years. So in terms of me holding the clipper, the machine itself, since I was a young teenager, like you've been cutting your friend's hair, you know, by yourself, you know, that kind of thing. That's just the community that I was in lah back then lah.
Yeah.
So holding the clipper wasn't alienated to me. You know, it was quite natural for me. So when I was there, day in day out, that spark of interest, like, hey, how do you guys do this? How do you guys do that? Blah blah blah. You know, every time I sit down there for a smoke, because it's like really like what 5-6 steps away. Our shops were that close. So every time I went out for a smoke, I went out for a breather, I will always be there. I will always be there because their shop is intertwined with a barber shop and a tattoo shop.
Right.
So it's something that I was interested in the first place, right? So naturally you tend to get attracted to the things that you like, man.
Correct.
So from there, day in, day out, you know, Raymond, shout out to Raymond who always cut my hair there. He's a tattoo artist also. He tattoos a lot of my tattoos also. Yeah, so he gave me his services, you know, month in, month out. And there I was like stealing tricks and trades, you know, like, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this, blah blah blah. But even at that point of time, I wasn't like set on my mind like, yeah, I want to do barbering, you know, you get what I mean? I wasn't even having that kind of perception towards the barbering community or the barbering craft itself.
Yeah.
Because back then my career was still, I would say, nursing. It's just that, you know, I was looking for hobbies or pastime to do for myself, for me to learn.
Sorry.
Yes. Hey, welcome to Shelter, huh? People open up, not knowing where they are going. So at least people saw us lah.
I see.
So like, then I got laid. Okay, then after that I started learning from them here and there, blah blah blah, over the course of what 2.5 years, 3 years. Then I got laid off from the cooking world. So I was doing something else. I was doing motorbike wash, you know, for my friend's company, whatnot. I was doing airbrushing for another company. Then at that point of time, I was really slowly like, you know, asking friends, families like, hey, come lah, I want to cut hair, you know, I bought a new machine, you know, I invested on myself.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, all the machine that we are using is all an investment for our craft itself lah. So I just bought here and there. Then I asked people to come around at my staircase, or I went to their staircases, you know, HDB block, void deck, you name it.
Sure.
Then slowly I realized from there like, hey, actually I'm picking it up lah. You know, I'm picking the skills up, I'm picking the craft up. Definitely, but even until now, I still got a lot more things to learn, definitely. Then I realized like, hey, then maybe I should try apprenticeship or going around asking people whether they want to teach me for free, you know. So I just went around, find other people to help me grow in terms of my barbering journey, my barbering skills. That's where I meet many friends in the industry. I even went around to see, you know, like the void deck kind of barbershops. Just to go around, see how they work, what they do. Because tentatively, the way they cut is totally different from us. You
Also.
know? In terms of the outcome, in terms of, you know, we are so used to that term slope when we were younger.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Tentatively, it's a very Singapore thing, though, or closely to Malaysia, let's say. But if you're talking about Southeast Asia, there's no such thing as a slope, technically. You get what I mean? Yeah, so the way they do their slopes, the way they do their haircut, the way they get their haircut to be clean is a totally different set of skills than, for example, a fade lah. You know, then nowadays, you know, kids are doing fades and whatnot. We're trying to work on a better fades, blah blah blah. So it's actually a different set of skill factor. So it's nice to know how they work, because they are serving a community where the community wants cheaper haircut, but they are not too concerned about, you know, the actual quality of the haircut. As long as their hair is shorter than before, you know, it serves the purpose. That's their target audience, that's their community. So they learn to cut as fast as 8 minutes to 15 minutes per head, you know. But if you're talking about the skill set or the outcome that, let's say, I'm doing, it's another set of outcomes that you want to achieve lah. So for us to cut within the time frame of 8 to 10 minutes is quite impossible for the haircuts that we're doing. But as time goes by, as you cut and cut and cut, technically your number of time that you need to take for each service shortens.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, you just shorten it up lah. A lot way because the faster you can cut, the more clients you can take in for the day.
Yeah.
The more clients you can take in for the day, more money that you're getting for the month. You get what I mean? Because we are in the industry where the more you cut, the more you earn. Full stop.
Yeah.
It's not like another industry where you are getting paid by the hour. You know, if let's say you have no work for that hour, you're still getting paid. It's not. That's not the case. You get what I mean?
So you said that you had a mentor, because Raymond.
I had a few mentors.
Okay.
So
How important was mentorship to you?
it was very because learning, like, okay, majority of the learning that I did was from internet, from YouTube, from social media, whatever it is. If you are into something, you really make a lot of effort for you to go around and find ways and means for you to learn it lah. But when you go through someone that is doing something or showing something to you in front of their face, telling you, once you hold the clipper, he wants to see how you do it and telling you, hey, you try to do this, you try to do this, you try to do this. It really helps you out a lot lah. In terms of how fast you get to pick up, it's way faster. And learning from different people is always a plus point. Everyone cuts differently.
Sure.
Everyone. So because one of my mentor lah, he said something that until now I keep it close and dear to my heart. He said, barbering itself is not a set of skills where it's being passed down from generation, like family secret, blah blah blah. It's not that way. It's really a skill. It's a craftsmanship skills where everybody can learn if they take effort to. So don't be stingy in the things that you want to share. That was his exact word sentiments to me. Don't be stingy. If somebody is willing enough to stand beside you, not getting paid, wanting to learn from you, go ahead. And the main thing he said is, you are not teaching, we are sharing. Who am I to teach somebody in terms of, barbering itself in Singapore? There is no organization where you can go to where, okay, I give you a 1-year course, learn barbering, then you pass out, you become a barber, then you can go to another course where they teach you how to become an instructor. There's no such thing in Singapore. There are hairstylists courses lah, but in terms of traditional barbering, there's no such a thing. So why are we going around pretending that we know how to teach when actually we are just sharing? So just share. Don't be too full of yourself thinking that, oh, I have this set of skill, I can teach you. But personally, that is my personal attributes lah. Whatever anybody else is doing is their own right, by their own means lah, right? But for me, I always tell, like, I have a few apprentices under me before. We have one also under me now. I always tell them, I'm not teaching you guys anything. I'm just sharing. And at the end of the day, my sharing, I do not want you to cut like me. I give you the foundation, you guys work with it. You get what I mean? And yeah, like I say, my partners are Nick and Elfie. In some way, shape or form, they were my apprentices.
So where did this spirit of, like, it's quite generous, it's like I help each other. This is not really commonly seen outside, right? Where people are kind of like dog eat dog. Well, if let's say I teach you, then you might steal my customers, or competition increases. So where did this spirit of sharing come from?
I think because the community is so small, even up till now, I wouldn't deny that in terms of barbering business or barbering shops is becoming a bit more saturated now. But if you're talking about the people who stayed within the industry, within the craft, is actually quite limited. Our numbers are quite limited. So why is there a need for you to have that dog eat dog world perception or attributes? You get what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I always have this mindset where everyone will get a piece of the pie. How many heads or how many cuts can you get if you want to conquer the whole of Singapore? Like how many heads can you cut also in a month?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So know your target audience, attack your target audience first. You get what I mean? At the end of the day, everyone will have the piece of the pie if they work hard enough.
Tell us more about your target audience and how do you arrive at that?
For shelter, we try to keep it as organic as possible. Meaning we don't, I wouldn't say we don't market lah, but you know, we don't really do that kind of ads thing, you know, just to push ourselves in front. Because we understand that even though like we have been cutting, we are still new birds in the industry where we are a new shop. There are a lot of things for us to learn from other shops, from each other, blah blah blah. So I would say is, in a gist, is just to trust the process, lor. Trust the process, You know what I mean?
So it's more like word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
And let's say, for example, our shop itself is located at Lavender Street, right?
Yeah.
So, in terms of attacking your neighbors first lah, like you know, make friends with your neighbors, let them know that we are around, let them come, experience the service for themselves. Then slowly it will grow from there. Like if you're talking about a smaller community first, yeah, that's how we attack our neighbors lah. But other than that, yeah, we try to do it as organic as possible. Because why? When you do it organically, right, the client that comes to you or the client that sorts you out, if they really like the first sitting that they had with you, for a definite fact they will come back on, confirm. You get what I mean?
Correct.
So if you get to do it organically and that person comes to you organically, like let's say they found you on Instagram when their friend posted a haircut that you did. You get what I mean? So for them to make that first step of going to you, that's already a win.
Right.
Second win is for you to keep them coming in your chair by the things that you're doing, by the services that you're doing, you know, by the person you are in general. It always helps.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, barbering for me is really, really, really more than just a haircut.
Yeah.
Technically, anyone and everyone can do a clean haircut. You get what I mean?
Yes.
But why do your client take time every month, every 2 weeks, you know, to make an appointment with you, to come to you? You know, my client comes from Jurong to Pasir Ris. You get what I mean? So you need to give them that respect as well, because as much as you think you are serving them, technically your clients are serving you. In a sense, they are putting food on the table, basically. You get what I mean? So I always have that mindset where, as much as you can, at times, give back to your client. You know, like for example, during COVID, back then I was cutting at Sembang Bedok. So majority of my clients, or a good percentage of my clients, were flyers. You know, so flyers, they need to keep their hand neat for their work and whatnot. So they come to me quite often. So when COVID hits, a few of them got hit quite bad in terms of finance. So I didn't see them for a while. So I got to know that, they couldn't fly anymore, blah blah blah. So they want to go for a haircut. It's just that they feel that, rather than they spend that money on just a haircut, they could keep the money for daily expenditure lah. So I got to know from there. That was when I started this movement for myself. If I got to know that my clients are really having issues for themselves, I give them a free haircut. You know, like, you're not losing out a lot if you're giving like 1, 2, 3 haircuts from a client lah. You get what I mean? At the end of the day, they have been spending on you for years, for twice a month or once a month. So for you to give back slightly, you shouldn't be poor out of it lah. You get what I mean?
And I think that the act of kindness goes a long way. Like they will definitely remember. It's a term I recently learned. It's called social capital. It's like
Social?
social capital.
Okay.
So you're doing good, but it's a long term of doing good. Yeah, and
Ah,
then
okay.
in a long and as you keep doing these good intentions, these good actions, like somehow they'll find their way back to you. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Learn something new today.
So they may, in a way, they can say that, hey, you really go to my barber. I only go to Kid, check him out. So they in themselves repay their kindness to you in many ways that you can imagine.
Yeah. Get what you mean. And I guess that's what's happening from my end. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Cool. So has your journey in barbering always been smooth sailing?
I wouldn't. Okay lah. Like, what are growth without faults also, right?
Sure.
As cliche as it sounds lah, you get what I mean? But I think my hardest part back then when I was trying to find my footing in terms of barbering was juggling time from doing barbering and my previous career, because I was doing barbering part-time.
Yeah.
So my previous career I was doing like a permanent shift. I think majority of them know that healthcare wise we work in shift.
Yeah.
So but for me to pursue barbering, to have more time cutting in barbering, I have to find some way and means for me to not work as much in that job, that line. So I was doing permanent night for a number of years lah. For me, just to pick up barbering, at the end of the day, for you to get clients is just to keep on cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. So I was 4 days in the hospital and 3 days in the shop. Technically, I don't have an off day lah, but coming in the shop, it feels like an off day by itself because it doesn't feel like work, ma. You come in, you meet friends, you meet your mentors, you meet your clients, whatnot. It was a very easy process in terms of when I stepped foot in the shop. But other days, it was a drag, you get what I mean? It was like really, really a drag. Takes a lot of time away for myself. You get what I mean? Because of the hours that I have to be in the barber shop or the hours I have to be in nursing, I really didn't have time to do things that I really, really like. You know what I mean? But it's just part of the growth itself. You have to be there. You have to keep on doing. You have to keep on hustling. So as years goes by, that's where when we decided to open our own place, my first rule of thumb was it should benefit us in more ways than one. Things that we are unhappy with, we should work on it that works for the shop and works for us as well. So everybody set on an agreement. That's why our shop is open at 3 p.m. On the weekdays.
Okay.
Yeah, on paper it's supposed to be closed at 10, but usually 10 we are still cutting. Because we are in an industry where the more you cut, the more you get paid. And you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month for whatever it is. So whatever that you can cut, you go for it.
Yeah.
If I'm already cutting somebody at 10 p.m., for example, I'm cutting you at 10 p.m. and somebody just texts me up and like, hey kid, I can come in like 11:30. As much as I can. Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Okay.
Even if I'm in the shop itself, I wouldn't say even me, I think all of us wouldn't mind, just to stay and do it. If we are allowed to in a sense. If let's say tomorrow is not a heavy day for us, we can take a bit more time in the shop. Sure. We will definitely do it. That's the beauty of having your own space. You control your time.
Yeah, being your own business owner.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you are working for somebody else, you cannot be telling your bosses like suddenly like, hey, today I close early or tomorrow I close late. It doesn't work like that. It's not that I'm saying that Sheltershelterrr doesn't have a system, but we are flexible in the sense if you need a place to cut, we have a place for you to cut. It's as simple as that. being perceived something that I wasn't even purposeful doing, which was, it affected me, dude. Really.
So how do you overcome this obstacle?
Concentrate on shelter straight on. Lor. Yeah, like really, I sat down with the boys, like we literally said screw it. You know, we do what we feel that will benefit us. You know, because technically people who talks about you are not the people who sits on your chair day in day out. You know, who supports you since day one when you were cutting like in nowhere. You get what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Why should it matter? At the end of the day, I'm not young anymore. We are not young anymore. We're not getting young anymore.
Right.
If I feel I have made mistakes, I would have already apologized. Or I think I have already apologized. You get what I mean? Like, saying sorry is not a sign of weakness also. You get what I mean? And if I can make the entire environment softer, cooler, chiller by apologizing, so be it. You know, we are not in the age or phase of our life to burn bridges anymore.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, why it's just because of my craft and my source of living. At the end of the day, whatever industry that you will have problems at least lah, definitely lah. But when you have something so close to you, in terms of friendship, in terms of the craft that you like doing, it will affect you. Affect you hard, no, I tell you. But you need to keep in mind why you are doing it in the first place. So sat down, you know, clear my thoughts, clear my mind, told myself, I have this thing in front of me, which is shelter, which is the boys I'm with. We run with it. Why are we so concerned about what people want to say or do towards us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what we've been doing.
So you're picking your battles.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So speaking of, you know, shelter, where is it now and where do you hope to see it grow into?
Oh, in terms of long-term goal, definitely, like I think I told you just now, we want it to be more than just a barbershop.
Yeah.
You know, we want it to be an event space where, for example, let's say we have a budding artist who wants to, you know, have a space to do some pop-ups.
Yeah.
Go for it. You get what I mean? We would be more than happy to let out our space or use our space for that kind of platform if we have the space lah. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working towards it lah, in a sense. Growing shelter to become a household name. You get what I mean? Be it you're 8 years old, 10 years old, you know, you tell your mom and dad, I want to go shelter for a haircut. How cool would that be? You get what I mean? It's like, now I'm in a phase where I'm cutting clients where back then they are not married. Now I'm cutting their kids also. Wow. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is my progress lah in terms of the industry itself, which I would assume if the boys persevered long enough, they would go through the same thing. You know, it would be fun for us to grow just more than just a barbershop. You get what I mean? Like, there are shops in Singapore where they grow more than just a barbershop in a sense if they become like the main retail distributor product shop, you know, it is called Panic Room, you know. So they are kind of passive. You get what I mean? We want to find something else, something passive for shelter. You get what I mean?
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to pursue a career like similar to yours?
In barbering or just craftsmanship? Sorry.
Yeah, both actually.
In craftsmanship, don't stop. You might suck at first, but don't stop. If you really want to do it. Because at the end of the day, the time or the money that you invest is coming from you. And when you personally take that time to invest on yourself, by nature, you will do better or you will do well in it.
Yeah.
Don't stop. As cliche as it sounds, don't stop. Just go for it. I think it took me like 2 years for me to get paid for my first haircut. You get what I mean? Like confidently, I take a walk in, or confidently, like I tell my friends, like, yeah, I'm going to start to charge you. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it took me like a good, 2 years
Yeah.
for me to reach that stage. But once you reach that stage, the sky is the limit. Go for it. What are you afraid of? At the end of the day, yes, it's a craft, but hair will grow back. And the only way for you to learn is for you to make that mistake. Yes, maybe you will lose that 1-2 clients because you made a mistake on them. But it wouldn't be a life altering mistake for that person. You get what I mean? Yeah, they wouldn't come to you, but at the end of the day, they wouldn't die. And you learn something out of it. Yeah. Let's go for it. Mistakes are there to help you throughout the way. So what's stopping you?
How do you deal with, failure? Like we say, mistakes are just part of it, are part of your progress. Like how have you been always so positive towards this, or
No
was it a
lah,
journey
definitely
that you
no
had to
lah.
take?
Being positive in your life is, I think it's a skill by itself.
Yeah.
I think many people can vouch for that. So
Yeah.
it's a skill by itself. For you to have that it is what it is kind of mindset,
Yeah.
you really need to take a shit load of downs in your life for you to get there lah. But once you have it, that it is what it is mindset, technically nothing can stop you already. You will just go for it and you go. Because at the end of the day, tentatively you got nothing else to lose. What is there to lose? You get what I mean? But it can be perceived as, let's say for someone that doesn't really know you, if you have that mindset, like really, really strong mindset of it is what it is, like, people will perceive that you are a very carefree bugger who doesn't take life seriously,
Yeah.
No. Again, that's your perception. It shouldn't bother you lah. Personally, it shouldn't bother you. For me, as long as you are looking after your family, financially or life-wise, you don't cheat, kill, steal, rape, repeat, you are doing okay already in life. You get what I mean? Take life easy lah. Yeah.
You mentioned just now that you for a season you were you're doing haircuts for free and everything,
Yeah.
right? Then transit to, okay, I'm gonna charge you. Like, if you were to do it all over again, would you do things for free?
Do barbering?
Barbering, yeah. I mean, at the start. Why not from the start was I'm not gonna do it for free. I'm gonna charge you something because it's my effort as well, my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Okay, like for me, even though I started charging, I didn't charge it when I was cutting outside from a shop. When I started to work in my first shop, actual work in my first shop, where they gave me that price of apprentice cuts, like I was doing that apprentice cut thing. That was when I started charging. But when I was cutting at their shop, and I did still have clients or friends that were still cutting at staircases with me, like, I didn't charge them for shit.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because for me, that time that I had with them is really my practice for me to work better when I'm in the shop itself.
Sure.
But thankfully, over the years, slowly, the first person that gave me his head is my paying customer till now. You get what I mean? So it sets me thinking that the path that I took, in terms of barbering, when I started charging, or who I started charging, how I started charging, I think everything was set in place for me to be where I am now. It really justifiable for me. So I wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't change anything, yeah.
I wouldn't change anything.
What is one myth about your industry or profession that you want to debunk?
Myth? Is there any myth that we need to debunk in barbering? Yes, gentleman's haircut. There's no such thing as a gentleman's haircut, dude.
So I asked just now.
Yeah. So it's like, back then when our type of haircuts with, you know, the fades, you know, the sharp lines, the square lines, you know, the hard part and whatnot. I think the industry market it as such in terms of gentleman's haircut.
Yeah.
It's just for the purpose of being easy. You know, so like, if you want to tell people, okay, or you want to educate people like, oh, this is a 0 fade, or this is a 0.5 fade, number 1 fade, it might be difficult, right? So people always have that mindset. If the hair is to the side, there's a line, short on the side is a gentleman's haircut lah. Back then, I think it wouldn't be wrong because it's easier for people to interact or tell you like exactly what I want.
Yeah.
But we need to debunk that thing, man. Like, there's no such thing as a gentleman's haircut, dude. Like, what does that even mean? You get what I mean?
That line.
Yeah, that's the thing. We need to debunk that thing in the sense. It boils down to what? No, education with your clients. You know, you educate your clients like, what is the haircut that you're looking for? Because in terms of, let's say for me, my purpose of me educating you is not for you to just understand what you're having. It's for you to understand in a sense, if let's say you are not able to cut with me, you can go anywhere else and you can explain just like that what you want and your barber will understand. You know, that barber will understand. So it's really for your benefit and for your understanding. I mean. So yeah, first, no gentleman's haircut. Second, barbers, please educate your client, friends, and patrons. You need to debunk that shit, gentleman's haircut, my ass. Come on, PG-13, PG-13.
Yes, alright. What's your personal view about men's grooming in Singapore?
Grooming.
Yeah,
grooming is growing.
Growing, okay.
Yeah, in a sense, I think I spoke to you also, like, because of, you know, people having better pay, better jobs, you know, jobs that allows them to express themselves in terms of, you know, grooming, you know, haircut, do their eyebrows, facial hair, whatnot. Guys tend to take a bit, I wouldn't even say guys, I say people would take a bit more effort in grooming itself. Because why? Because they can afford and they take it as that half an hour or 45 minutes for them to pamper themselves.
Yeah.
No, it's not. The target audience is as such lah. It's not just, I need a shorter haircut, I go here 10 minutes, get it over and done with and I'm done. It's way more than that. You know, so they have more trust in a sense. I want to look good. I want to look like this exactly, and my barbers know what to do to me. You know, so it is growing in a sense. Everybody is willing to pay a bit more for services for them to look better for the month or for that 2 weeks or whatnot. It's not going down anytime soon, I would say, but saturation in the industry in terms of shops opening, popping up here and there, definitely will affect the business one way or another lah. But if you are having a steady clients for your shop, for yourself, it's something that you shouldn't worry also. You get what I mean? Oh yeah, back to the part where, you know, we need to debunk things in barbering. Something I thought of. We are not uneducated people. Like, most of us have or is qualified in something lah. You get what I mean? It's just that we like to do barbering. It's like one funny story, short story. When I was cutting at Simpang Bedok, there was this one kid. I think he was like 9, 10 years old, an expat kid. So his mom brought him in. So I was cutting him halfway. I think he did badly for his test or something like that. So his mom was like, so what you want to do? Cut hair when you grow up. That was what the mom said. I stopped, bro. Midway through, I stopped. I said, ma'am, excuse me, what do you mean by that? No, then she was like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. So I said, I think that's exactly what you meant, right? It speaks for itself. What? Yeah. No, I'm just saying that, you know, if you are not studying well, you know, you don't have education, then you cannot have a proper job. I was midway cutting her son, you know, what do you mean by that?
Do you have a razor in your hand?
Yeah, so I stopped. I clean up her son halfway through the cut. No, back then I was cutting like halfway through. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot render my services to you. You know, I think I wouldn't give you a good service. You know, I find somewhere else to finish your cut for you. So she was, as you assume, she was pissed. So beside my shop, actually, there was another barber shop, and I was an asshole in a sense. I went out. I went to the other shop. I told them what happened. She was already waiting with her kid to do that service with them. And then I went in and told them what happened. Then they straight away they went out and said, "Oh, sorry, we also cannot serve you." You get what I mean? It was a dick move lah. I wouldn't justify my actions lah. But I was pissed lah. You get what I mean? Like, how can somebody educate kids? You know, like their kids' minds are like sponges. You know,
Yeah.
when you do that kind of thing to them, they have that certain perception. Like, oh, this job means you're not educated, or if you look this way means you are not successful in life. That's rubbish, yeah, dude. You get what I mean? So yeah, it was correct lah. Debunk. Many barbers are educated. All of us are educated. You like it or not, that's a problem.
Agree. But I mean, speaking of education, right? Like, I'm sure you also want to grow in certain aspects. Like, what's the next? Where do you want to grow in next?
In terms of nursing or barbering?
Barbering lah.
Oh, barbering.
Yeah, or in life lah.
If barbering wise,
Yeah.
I really would like to go overseas and learn from somebody else. It might not be from an organization or a barbering school, but if I get the opportunity to go to the few people that made an impact in the way I cut, like go to their shop and just sit down and have a haircut with them also, right, and experience their services. It's one of my goals. I think my boys also have that kind of goals. At the end of the day, we know for a fact our skill or our craft was built without proper teachers or proper schools also. We get that we are straight kids doing straight things for straight works, you get what I mean? But because of the pride that we have in terms of our techniques, our skills, our end product, our services, we take a lot of pride in that, right? That if we get to meet the people who we look upon in terms of social media or YouTube, it would be a learning experience for us as well, to see how they work itself. Like, I think in terms of craftsmanship, let's say tattooing, cooking, I think it's about the same wavelength. You get what I mean? There are some tattooers who look upon to another tattooer somewhere, and as long as they get to sit beside that person for 5 minutes, for them they achieve something. I think that's the same perspective that barbering has also lah. Very subjective, but that's my personal mindset towards it lah.
Yeah. I think it's just that level of appreciation, right? If you have someone that you look up to, and you can just observe how they do things, then you like be so inspired. Like, hey, I think I can be even better than I am today.
Correct.
Yeah, because like for my mentor as well, like when I sometimes I'll say, can I sit in for your appointments with your clients? And just the way she says something, I can just adapt it to my presentation, and like, wow, yeah, it's a whole different world.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Like, it really sets, even if you get one-liner from somebody who you look up to or your mentor yourself, it really changed the way you do things. From there on. That's why
there's always something to learn.
I think in terms of, if let's say for you're doing financial, in terms of finance wise, right, I think majority of them do have mentors where they pay to have them as mentors. You get what I mean? It's an investment that technically money can't buy.
Agree.
But like for my industry, if let's say for my mentors that have taught me, so what I can give back now is, if I need a shave and I have time, I go to them and get the services from them, and I will be a willing paying customer. You get what I mean? That's how we give back to people who matters. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
The industry is as such. But yeah, mentorship mentor, mentee, I cannot say how important it is because it's very, very important. I think you would understand that
Yeah,
also. I
yeah.
think your viewers would understand that also.
Agree.
Having mentors is very
Well,
important.
I had a different perception before. I always thought that I don't want to part my money to go and learn from someone. I
Understood?
probably can go and find a solution myself. Yeah, but one of I think in the previous podcast I spoke with this guy called Joshua Ong, and he shared that you will always pay. It's either you pay with your time or you pay with your money.
Correct.
Yeah,
I agree.
And when you pay with your time, it means like, oh, you got to search, you got to make mistakes and everything. Yeah,
When technically your mentor, if let's say you are finding a good mentor, they have already gone through that.
correct.
No,
And you can't avoid all this.
cut away. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
See, something I picked up from your podcast. Something you should have asked. Why I didn't give up even when there wasn't any financial aspect coming in. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it took 2 years of my time.
Yeah.
You know, it took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort. You know, I went through learning from people, you know, traveling here and there, blah, blah, blah. But I was still not earning a single dime out of it.
Yeah.
Like, how did I persevere on that 2 years? It, like, for me, it was totally because I felt that my outcome in terms of giving my services wasn't there enough for somebody to pay me. You know, the first time that I realized people are allowed to, you know, like pay me for my services, it's not from my own confidence also. It's from my peers and my mentors telling me like, dude, start charging, dude, what are you waiting for? You know? But they gave me that space where I told them, oh, I wasn't ready. You know, I wasn't ready.
Oh, so what's stopping you? Like, why do you say you're not ready?
Because for me, money was hard to find, and for me, to ask somebody to pay for my services or my skills back then, I feel it wasn't justifiable because I felt like I still got a long way for me to tell myself that, you know, I can do barbering, you know, like I can cut hair, I can decently cut, and you can decently pay me. I haven't reached that stage yet. You know, you get what I mean?
So even if let's say we turn back time and what you're doing now is a free haircut, right?
Yeah.
You don't expect to pay. But then after the haircut, I say that, wow, this is a nice job. This is a great haircut. Then, but at that point of time, you still wouldn't be confident that, hey, yeah.
No,
Oh,
really.
wow.
As much as
So what changed? What changed? Like it's you said your peers told you that it's enough people telling you that, hey, actually it's really quite good already.
I have to think for their business as well. Until when I can occupy a chair without getting financial income for the company itself. Because they are letting me cut in their space, you know. I'm having their chair. Till when I want to tell myself, oh, I'm not confident in charging. Why am I not confident in charging? Or because of this factor. Mostly I would say it's confidence in myself, you know, for the services that I want to render. But until when can I do it? No? They put their faith and their trust in me. If I'm not confident, it's something that I have to deal with myself. I need to make myself confident enough for me to do this as fast as I can. You know, it was that trust that they have on me that pushed me to be better in my craft. Because I felt that I wasn't pulling weight for the shop. Everybody was giving me that. Everybody was giving me a pat on my back, cheering on me, telling me my mistakes. But none of them was like really pressuring me in the sense the bosses didn't come to me like, hey, we are not making money, you are using our space. When are you going to start charging your clients? It's not fair for us. You know, I didn't want it to go to that phase. So I pushed myself a bit more, a bit harder, day in, day out. Started to call people, you know, like, dude, you just come to the shop, I give you a free haircut, let me rock and roll with your hair. Like, I wanted to be as confident as I can. So the day that I told them, the night that I told them like, okay lah, you know, you want to start charging the apprentice thing, I think I'm okay. The next day I came in, the first walk in, I think 5 minutes when we opened the shop, my boss was like, take. As much as I was interacting with my client like this now, I was shaking everywhere, so you get what I mean? But another rule of thumb bubbling is, if you are not confident with the outcome, take it step by step. Use back your fundamentals. At the end of the day, any haircut, because barbering or haircutting or hairstyling, grooming, it's a problem-solving skill. You know, a client sits on your chair, you find your ways, oh, this is that, you want to do this, do that. So if you go it systematically in terms of, okay, settle the sides first, then settle the back, settle the top, blah, blah, blah. Tentatively, you will always be able to settle the problem. So as much as I was shaking inside because it's somebody that I do not know, you know, when you come into the shop, you expect that bugger to know what he's doing already. When tentatively, maybe I have like what, 10% of the entire knowledge that I need, but because of how I portrayed myself, he was confident, he was comfortable with me. So when he's comfortable, I became more comfortable. Definitely I made mistakes lah. It is what it is. But the client doesn't know. I tried my best to rectify. He's cutting with me till now, dude. You get what I mean? But the biggest boo-boo I ever made was my brother-in-law.
Oh.
It was the night of his wedding.
Oh, damn.
We cut his hair at the void deck. Like we were, you know, that typical Malay wedding where everybody is down there helping each other, blah blah blah. You know, that kind of thing, that void deck kind of wedding.
Sure.
So he was like, "Hey kid, I haven't had my hair cut." Then I was like, it was like what, 2-3 a.m. It was dark. It wasn't proper. Environment was shit ah.
Yeah.
But I had to do it, so I did it. And I made a mistake in a sense, like I accidentally like made a line on his head. A line that you cannot get back, you know, you cannot get that hair to grow back, and he's getting married in a few hours. So my mentor was there, thankfully. So we tried to rectify it and it looks okay lah the next day. It looks like it was meant to be there, you know, thankfully. But that mistake that I made me better in the technique that I'm giving you now. You get what I mean? So, like you said just now, in terms of people that wants to go through this industry, don't be scared of making mistakes. Because the mistake that we make, yes, they will get pissed, but hair will grow back for a fact.
Yeah.
But there will be a phase in your life where, or in your career, where you are not allowed to make that kind of silly mistakes anymore lah, you get what I mean? But you will tend to grow out of it lah. You will get better, you get faster, technique wise. So yeah, don't bloody them give up. If you really want to do it, you do it.
What's the fastest way for someone to, you know, from doing something for free to being able to charge? What's the
Mileage.
experience?
Keep on doing.
Just keep doing.
Do. Because skills wise, it grows. You need to learn and it grows. But in terms of your comfortability of holding the machine, you know, doing something on somebody's
Becomes second nature.
It becomes second nature.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Mileage, very important.
Yeah.
Mileage and the drive to always explore. Even in through of this number of years, right? At night before I sleep, I still look at other people's work. I still look at videos. I still find videos. Like if let's say I got a haircut that I've never done before, and because tentatively, roughly I know my clients, so sometimes they just hit me up like, hey, I want to do this next time. So if I wasn't comfortable, I would try to find ways and means for me to see like, oh, so I should start with this, I should end with that, you know, blah blah blah. Never stop having the drive to search for your craft. Once that stop, right, it won't be fun anymore. It will just be a job where you need to come in, then when you finish, you need to go off. So don't if one day it becomes like that, right, stop doing it now. You know, get a 9 to 5 job, get a job with CPF. You get what I mean? Because definitely this is not for you already. But it is what it is lah.
Yeah, that's the motto in life.
That's my motto in life. It is what it is lah. If you cannot change something, why brood over it?
Yeah.
Move on lah.
Nice.
Okay, so this is a number 3 based on your size. I tapered off a 1.5 for you. Took off the length substantially and weight on top. So even if you are not putting in products, it should tentatively sit as it is lah. Okay, nothing too far off, nothing too hard for you to handle. Looks good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your time, Josh.
Hey, thanks,
Appreciate
Kid. So if some of our listeners want to find out more about you and your services, how do they start?
Okay, Instagram wise, you can look us up at Shelter with a double R. In terms of my Instagram, you can find it from there lah. Talking about Kid also. In terms of booking system, you can either hit me up through Instagram or we have a shop in the phone itself. It's 8949-9418. 8949-9418. So you guys can WhatsApp us or give us a call. We will reply back a call to the shop working hours, which is weekdays from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Weekend is from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. We are closed on Mondays lah. So yeah, hit me up on my social media or hit us up on our phone. Doesn't matter. Pop by the shop anytime. You know, there's a few chairs outside. You can hang, you can sit down, no biggie, no issue. Hope to see you guys lah. You know, a successful barber is a busy barber. That's my perspective lah. Yeah. So if I still got slots in between that I can squeeze in, I'm not successful yet lah. Yeah. So that's my take lah.
Thanks, Kid.
You're welcome.
All right.